Gigi and Nate is the newest drama film to hit theaters. Before I get into my quick thoughts about this film, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, comment below your thoughts on this film. Have you heard about this film? And if you have not heard about this film, are you interested in checking it out? And also turn the notification bell so you never miss any video that I post and I upload weekly. And now without further ado, let's get into my thoughts and let you guys know, is this movie worth a watch? A young man's life is turned upside down after he is left a quadriplegic. Moving forward seems near impossible until he meets his unlikely service animal, Gigi, a curious and intelligent monkey. The film stars Marcia Gay Harden, Charlie Rowe, Josephine Langford, Zoe Coletta, Hannah Allgood, Jim Belushi, and Diane Ladd. Gigi and Nate, I saw the trailer one time in theaters, and it really looked like it would be a heartfelt kind of movie. Now, growing up, gorilla and monkey movies, my two favorite gorilla and monkey movies were Born to be Wild and Dunstan Checks In. Those films are more so comedy kind of films. I knew that this film wasn't going to be much so a comedy, but a more serious tone kind of film, and that's really what I really expected going into this film. The film starts off with Gigi. She ends up getting rescued, and then it cuts to Nate, and he is an 18-year-old, and he's living the 18-year-old life, and he's swimming and doing all the things that a normal 18-year-old would do, and he actually suffers a traumatic event, and this really affects him, and it gets really dark, and he's confined to a wheelchair, and he's really depressed. His mom has this bright idea of going to get a service animal, so they go down to the service animal place, and they go check out different animals, and they go meet this monkey named Gigi, and he really falls in love with this monkey, and they take the monkey home, and that's where our film kicks off. I like that the director really did build this relationship with Gigi and Nate. Now, Gigi really gives Nate a lot of hope because he's really adjusting to this lifestyle in a wheelchair, and for anybody that used to be able to walk and then now you can't do that, you can't move your hands, and you can't do bodily functions that we can really take for granted, Gigi really gives him that hope, and you really see that bond on screen here. For example, like Gigi, he will help him try to grip a ball, or Gigi will paint with him and do different activities such as play the piano, and really give him a lot of hope and happiness because he really doesn't have any friends to really rely on through this difficult time. The film has some really heartfelt moments that really tug on your heartstrings, and you really feel for both characters, and I really did expect that with watching the trailer. And I did like that Gigi really does have a personality. There's this really funny moment where Nate is trying to get Gigi to lick peanut butter off his finger, and she ends up taking the whole jar of peanut butter, and I really did think that that was a funny moment, and there's little bits of sprinkle kind of humor in there. And then I also do like that we have those heartfelt moments when Gigi goes to give Nate a hug. It's really cute, and I can see kids if they would want to watch this movie. In a way, this film does have those family kind of moments, but it does have a little bit of a dark edge to it as well. And elaborating on that edginess, so there is a particular scene where Gigi and Nate, they just went to hang out with friends, and there's this particular portion where this scene comes out and it really changes the tone of the movie, and it feels really out of left field. And when it does change to this tone, it feels very drastic and really out of place. And what the grandma does is pretty funny, but it's pretty edgy, and it's not really family friendly at that scene. The cinematography and the filming, it's rather standard. I wouldn't say that there's anything too groundbreaking or anything too memorable about this film in the actual filming aspect of it. Now, it takes place in Nashville, but it was actually filmed in North Carolina. I also felt the same way with the score. Nothing really memorable, nothing that really stood out to me. The pacing of the film is a little bit strange. There's a lot of time jumps within the film, and there's a lot of times where things are brought up and some of the pieces of the story feel very incomplete, like the third act, for instance. Now, there is a lot of different problems that really arise in this third act, and I feel like they edit them to not really tie together very well. Like, it seems like a problem is brought up, and then it feels like it just doesn't really actually solve the problem. It feels like it introduces the problem, but it doesn't actually solve the problem, and then it goes to a different time jump. So like the editing there, it doesn't feel very crisp. It feels kind of sloppily trying to put this wrap up and climax into the film. And that goes hand in hand with the dialogue in that last third act, because it feels like it's going for this really feel good kind of Christian kind of vibe, even though that's not what the film is. But I felt like I was watching some kind of Christian kind of really kind of safe kind of film there, and it just feels like the tone just doesn't match the other part of the film there. And I really think also that it makes the film feel very unrealistic. For a film that's really trying to draw a lot of emotions, I think that when it really does introduce those dark kind of moments, it introduces them in a way that just doesn't feel very convincing, and it really feels like the narrative is very uneven, and it could be a lot better and a lot more polished up there. So I think for the most part with this movie, I liked most of this movie, but I think the third act really does make it at points a little bit unbelievable for me. So I'm gonna give a score of this film a 3 out of 5. I think at points this film does hit those heartfelt moments, and it does have those funny moments, and it does have those dark moments. So I think this film has a lot of mix of different tones going for it, but at the same time, when it hits that third act, it really does feel a little bit unbelievable, and it feels like a waste to really bring up certain problems that really just don't really get resolved at certain points in the film. And then of course the editing there, it really does make it feel like a very uneven film. With all those thoughts in mind, I would recommend you guys check this film out on streaming. If you do check it out, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. But thank you guys for watching this review, and I'll see you guys on my next video.